What's going on, everybody? My name is Rana, and this video is 5 things that I learned as a teenager that have helped me be successful and get to where I am today. The first thing I learned is that confidence can be developed. You are not born with a certain confidence level. Yes, some people might naturally be more confident than others, but that does not mean that you cannot develop your confidence level. When I was 13 years old and I had just become a teenager, let me tell you, I was so awkward. Like, I cringe so bad when I look back on pictures and videos of myself at that time. I had no idea I would be the person I am today. I didn't know at that time in my life that confidence was something that could be gained and something that you could work on. In some of the next few tips I share, I'll talk about how I was able to develop my confidence and get to where I am today and still continue to develop it. But the first thing that I learned that I want you to know if you're a teenager is don't lose hope. If you're not the most confident person in the room, you'll get there if that's a goal of yours. If you want to develop self-confidence, you will get there. And the rest of this video will hopefully give you some ideas of how to do that. The second thing I learned, if you're uncomfortable, you're doing something right. When I look back on the past 10 years of my life, I'm so grateful for the moments that I pushed myself out of my comfort zone and did something that was scary and that was a risk and something that I didn't necessarily want to do in the moment, but that helped me grow. And now looking back, I'm so grateful for it. To give you some examples, that could be like taking on a public speaking role, like volunteering to present something in the classroom, presenting something to my school as a whole, starting a club, leading that club, taking on different positions, like when I became an academic advisor or a resident advisor. By putting myself into these roles and taking on leadership roles that scared me, I was able to then develop my confidence as I rose to the occasion. So I strongly recommend to push yourself out of your comfort zone. Do things that scare you, that you're uncomfortable with, that you've never done before. Because then later on in life, when you're called on to do those same tasks or even tasks that are harder than that, you'll be prepared and confident going in. Number 3, fall in love with the process, not the results. To illustrate this one, I'm gonna give you the example of weightlifting. When I first started lifting, if you've been following my channel, you know the story. I was a really skinny cross-country runner in high school, and I decided I wanted to make a change, so I started going to the gym. I got made fun of a lot, okay? That's another tip, learning how to deal with people making fun of you. I'll get into that later in the video. But anyways, when I first started going to the gym, I was really skinny. I didn't know what I was doing. As I started lifting, I didn't immediately gain like a huge amount of muscle. It was a very, very slow process. The results were very slow, but soon enough, I began to fall in love with the process. I loved going to the gym every day. I loved the feeling of the adrenaline and the blood flow and seeing those very incremental gains. When you look at yourself from one day to the next going to the gym, you're honestly not gonna be able to see any difference. But when you look at yourself from like one day and then 3 months later, you can start to see small results. And then when you look at yourself like 5 years later, the results are insane. But had I been doing it just for the results, I wouldn't have gotten to where I'm at. I would have given up after a month, 2 months, maybe 3 months if I had pretty good motivation. But the thing is, most people drop off on really anything because they don't get the instant results. And I think too much our society places emphasis on instant gratification, getting something immediately. You know, playing a video game, you instantly get that dopamine boost in your brain and you feel good. But when you're working towards a long-term goal, you need to really fall in love with the actual process of doing that action, not necessarily the result, because the result that you want could be years away. Number 4, the best day to start is today. That's right, today, 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 today. For this one, I'm gonna use the example of my YouTube channel. I decided I wanted to make a YouTube channel in August of 2018. I didn't actually start my channel until January of 2019. Why did it take me 5 months to decide to actually start my channel? Well, I kept making excuses for myself. Oh, I'll start it once I do this. I'll start it once I do that. Once I finish this task, once I reach this milestone, then I'll start the YouTube channel. Since August of 2018, I knew I wanted to do it. It was just I kept coming up with excuses. Oh, I don't have a tripod, I don't have a camera, I don't have this, I don't have that. What I realized in January of 2019 was that quote. I literally read that quote, the best day to start is today, and I was like, that's true. Why am I waiting to do this thing that I've always wanted to do? I should start it now. That's true. Was my first video great? No, that's true. It was trash. I look back at it, I'm like, how did I put that out in the world? That's true. You know what I mean? Like it was not good, but I had to start somewhere, right? And I really try to live my life with that motto. Like anything that I want to do, if I notice like there's something I want to improve in myself, or there's something I wish I started doing, I need to start it now. Like today is the day that I start doing this thing. Today is the day I start being that person I want to be. I'm not going to keep putting it off in the future. I'm not going to keep saying like, oh, well, once I'm 25, I'll start eating healthy. You know, like, no, I'm going to start now. If I want to be a person who eats healthy, I'm going to start today. If I want to be a person who's fit, I'm going to start working out today. I'm not going to keep putting it off and putting it off. The fifth thing is that it doesn't matter what other people think. I referenced this earlier in the video when I talked about working out. When I first went to the gym, I got made fun of a lot. I got a lot of stares in the gym because there's all these huge guys lifting, and then there's me with my little noodle arms, like, you know, struggling to raise a 15-pound dumbbell. But had I cared about what other people thought, I wouldn't have done that. And I've seen so many times people around me, honestly, and myself, where I choose not to do something because I'm worried about what people think. You need to just let that go and let other people's opinions of you go and do the things that really make you happy and that you really want to do. That was another inhibition that stopped me from starting my channel. I was like, what are people gonna think of me? Like when they, you know, when I make these videos. And at this point, I'm so numb to it. But like when I first started, like I really was self-conscious of like, oh, what are people gonna think? At this point, I'm just like, this is my life. This is something I do. So you can either love it or hate it. Like, if you don't like it, don't subscribe, you know, like that's up to you. But I'm not gonna concern myself with what people think about me, whether they like me or not. Like, I'm just gonna do me, and it's up to them. I hope you found these tips useful. I definitely want to say, like, all of these 5 things that I've shared with you are still things that I'm working on to this day. It's not like I've mastered any of these 5 things. Throughout my teenage years, I've sort of been learning these life lessons, and I wanted to share them with all of you. If you did enjoy this type of video, let me know in the comments below. Don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss my videos. I post every week, and I will see you in the next one.